Apart from some isolated properties in the 17th century, very little habitation was ever to be found on Blackheath, and indeed some people suggest that the name derives possibly from it being a large plague pit during the 14th century Black Death. Be that as it may, accommodation started being built here at the beginning of the 19th century. One of the first buildings in what is now the parish, the Paragon, was completed in 1827, and in the Illustrated London News of the day, the advertising prospect for the properties there included a rural idyllic scene of cows lying out in front of it. Long gone that view. Behind me now is the view that has been familiar at least since the 1850s. The Church of All Saints Blackheath was built in 1857 and was designed by one of the architects who worked alongside Pugin, who was responsible for the rebuilding of the Westminster Palace after the disastrous fire there in 1853. The distinctive steeple and spire were added later in 1899, and before then it said that for about 40 years the church was ridiculed as the three barns in Kent, the three Kentish barns, the aisled roofs of both the nave and the north and south aisle, making it appear to be little more than a domesticated, scaled building on an otherwise open expanse of ground. The line of shops and habitation and housing beyond Royal Parade were built in 1897, commemorating the 60th anniversary of the Queen's Jubilee. The village of Blackheath now is a thriving suburban part of London with a railway station, 1849, bringing the first residents into the community, now serving to take them out to work mainly in central London. The area is served by 5 Anglican churches, by a Roman Catholic church, St Mary's, Creswell Park, and also by a meeting house for the Friends in Independence Way. In historic terms, Blackheath has been the scene of many encounters. It's said that Henry V rallied his troops here before the Battle of Agincourt, and in a much more recent period, 400 years later, Wellington too amassed his troops here before going to the Battle of Waterloo. It was here that Henry VIII met his 4th wife, Anne of Cleves, he coming up the hill, it is said, from Lewisham, and of course famously deciding that she was not to be his wife for very long. The Queen's House and the former Royal Palace at Greenwich, now the site of the observatory, lie just a little to the north of here, some 450 yards towards the edge of the escarpment above the River Thames. Until 1924, the heath remained in the private ownership of the Earls of Dartmouth, but in that year the then Earl of Dartmouth gave the heath for the use and recreational use of the people of London, and so it remains one of the largest expanses within central London for recreation and is much enjoyed both by local residents and those who come here from outside.